Group A gets underway. I'd be very... Yes, okay, Team Singularity is in the green. At least we do have some semblance of community and order and prosperity to look forward to. We know that there is certainly problems if you're looking at the green of the floor and then the green of the Singularity, so we apologize for that, folks. It is a tough day to be colorblind, but then again, who really cares when you got great action? Is that a Mustang? Oh, I love a Mustang! Though, stealing my heart away early doors.
Yeah, we already have seen a couple of unconventional car picks, shall I say, in the series between the Rumble Bumblers and Team Vitality. And more of them are coming in on through. And how about a goal as well, Mike Boy, to open up the scoring for Suhhh. Just a plain old boring Octane, but a goal is a goal, and Suhhh are up 1-1.
Just another lovely pass down into the middle where someone's ready to poach in the box. We've seen it many times in the past. We've already seen it today, and it's lovely to see Suhhh getting onto the board within the first 40 seconds. Now, what can Team Singularity do to respond? If anything, though, completely just demolishing any hope of a counterattack early on with the demo, and Mike Boy not able to go much further here. Here's Billy to Bluey, of course. It's hard to remember the days when he was the MVP of Europe, but he still has something about him, doesn't it? A very quick equalizer.
Really, we have been talking about history, we have been talking about old names. We would love to see Pashi. That is such a blast from the past, and it's such unfortunate due to circumstances beyond his and his team's control. They had to pull out, but Bluey is really the player from the same era, I would even say. Got big, and unfortunately, the time caught up with him, I suppose. So any old veteran of the scene over here is welcome, in my opinion. And him getting the goal gives him even more confidence as a result.
I think we do definitely remember his halcyon days at what was Paris Saint-Germain, of course. He then went on to Savage, which became Barcelona, but it was really after the Barcelona pickup that things started to go downhill, and he's never quite recovered since. Maybe we were expecting something of a bit of a scrub killer renaissance, as we've seen with him moving to Dignitas in recent months, but nothing as of yet. Is this roster the one which he starts to recapture some of his old form with? We have lion's share of 3 minutes and 30 left here as Mike Boy is going to bring us into the green half once again. No boost, little that he can do with this, really. And Bluey wins a easy challenge over Oli, but here's though to step in. Backboard. Up goes Mike Boy. That's on target, but has so little power that even without someone in net, he probably would have saved it anyway.
They try for a couple of attempts, a couple of approaches, but Team Singularity's defense just does not let through easy shots. And right here, it's open. It's wide open. Billy just sends it down the net, and my God, that goal explosion. I want one. I want one right now.
Tho was turning around, and Mike Boy was just steam training towards him. Massive miscommunication here, really, as the demo complicates matters, and Team Singularity, perhaps against the run of play, you could say, is into the lead. And well, it's not so much about whether they fashioned it themselves, but look, when you are offered open door opportunities like that, you got to take them. And fair play to Billy. Gets it on target, gets the goal, gets the reward. And as we head to half-time, Suhhh still with work to do. Oli picking up possession. Nice chip, over Chippy. And gets Bluey as consolation prize as well, but it's back to the midfield line. Chippy's onto the backboard, but there is though again to shepherd it down and away. Evades one, looking for Oli upfield, who's chasing Billy down something fierce. Though, no, I'm not able to do anything there, and a lovely demo by Bluey onto Mike Boy again relieves all the pressure.
Just out of nowhere, Bluey rocks into that rotation that Suhhh were trying to make. And first of all, they removed the possibility of demolishing the player up front, or the Billy just out-chased his chasers. And then as a result of a demo on the back by Bluey, that's it. The whole attack by Suhhh just drops down. They're trying to test out the backboard. I don't think anybody from Team Singularity is going to be getting this quickly, so Oli's going to continue the attack for Suhhh. But he's surrounded. He's all by himself. Really no angle for him to take. No bounces to take from the backboard either. And so Suhhh will have to try again, and that block by Bluey almost succeeded.
It's all hands to the pump for defense for Singularity. Bluey going for the bicycle kick. A shot to the far post is unsuccessful for Billy. And as much as this defense is solid for Singularity, showing some really good counter-attacking prowess here as Oli hits the post this time. Unlucky not to find an equalizer himself. Suhhh knocking on the door. No way in yet as Mike Boy looking to continue the attack through the corner. Though, That's off the backboard again, but it ricochets out too far. Oli trying to reset. Nice, fancy mechanics, but it's not going to do you any good, especially when it ricochets past the goal mouth.
And you could see Suhhh with a lot of control of the game, constant possession. Oli brings the ball back to the green side of the field, as strange as it is to say, and it still just does not work out. Despite all of that control of the ball, Suhhh just cannot put it down past Team Singularity. They cannot drain him out of the boost, out of the resources. Billy, a bit risky, but this falls to Chippy, and Chippy on the breakaway, and that just wastes even more time. Finally, Singularity out of her own half, and while that does not go any further than the curve of the wall, it's still great for them. It's still great for them. They're finally out, and they can even threaten. And look at how quickly Singularity's shots are that much more threatening than whatever Suhhh has been able to put out in the last 2 minutes of constant siege.
This is very reminiscent, dare I say it, of Scrub Killer Singularity. We mentioned his name before, but one of the hallmarks of that Scrub Killer Singularity squad was that they could defend for days, frustrate opponents, and hit them mercilessly on the counterattack. And that is exactly the game plan that Singularity has brought to the table, and it has found success in droves. 3-1. Not exactly the scoreline we were imagining before the game, let alone when Suhhh went 1-0 up. Another big save coming through from Billy, and, well, I find myself saying this when I wasn't expecting to say it once again. Singularity very deserving, I would argue, of this opening win in the series. They go 1-0 up.
You could see their game plan quite well. You could see Suhh's game plan as well. It's just that it did not work. It really did not net them any benefits. Yeah, maybe the shots were there, maybe the attempts were there, but in the end, Singularity pretty much almost caught up on shots and stricken. It's there somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Every single time...
Struck.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's always one that I forget. Right. It's the one. And that's what Singularity's plan was through brilliant defense, through waiting out for their counterattacking chances, and through a lot of physical play. We're watching those replays, and what we're seeing, demos. Demos upon demos upon demos upon demos. And I'm seeing only 4 demos in total on the stat sheet. That can't be right. I felt like either of all 4 of them were instrumental to what Singularity has been doing. That could have been it. So, well, Team Singularity, your plan is working, and Suhhh better bring something else. The style that they brought in looks great, just not some no results.
I'm feeling very nostalgic today. Reference, old NA Evil Geniuses. They were demo heavy. They were demo for the sake of demo. And I think that we've gotten to a stage in the meta now where it doesn't matter so much how many demos you have on the board. It's how you use them. And every single demo, maybe bar one for Singularity, led to a great opportunity, if not a goal. And again, that's great credit to the team for picking and choosing their moments very nicely. That was a great moment to score, Suhhh. That was an excellent moment to score. And thankfully, Oli's going to put it away after it ricochets off woodwork once again. We know that Suhhh took an early lead in game number 1, Jam. We know that that is not a safe lead for them to get. But after the last game that they've just endured, it's nice to see them scoring once again.
Yeah, they needed to start this one strong. They're trying to forget the previous game. And right now, Singularity just have been in a much more open position, and misses on their clears doesn't help Singularity one single bit. Perhaps Chippy can create something. All eyes on Chippy, and it's Billy sitting in the back. All the while,
Bluey.
I'm talking about Billy. It's Bluey who's coming in to score a goal. Beautifully played. It's just everyone comes out, and by the time this play ends, Oli's already just a tad too late. You could see he was going in the right position, but somehow just stumbled somewhere, and bam, there's a goal all the way back from Singularity, battling it hard.
Lovely precision. And a repeat, essentially, of what we had in game number 1. A very snappy equalizer from Singularity, though able to make his way past 2, but with no follow-up, with no Shadow Striker, there's no second goal to be found, and no second goal as of yet scored for Suhhh. They've only been able to put up 1. Here's the second, surely. No, Bluey with a massive save to deny Mike Boy, and Tho again trying to chip over Chippy. And Chippy says no on this occasion, keeping it locked to the wall, loses possession. Bluey steps in. Tho to Mike Boy. That's genius, and the shot goes wide.
Every single genius has a little bit of moments where it's just not succeeding. Nobody knows what you're doing, and nobody appreciates it. Or just things that the genius would like to forget. that looked genius, just didn't work out. Nobody was on the same page. Perhaps I will like to try again. They got a lot of chances in the previous game. This is going to go as far as Billy. Although Oli had his name almost written on it, but they decided not to engrave it too quickly, and I think that was for a good reason.
We got some fancy mechanics coming out, which is all very nice and well, but I want to see the goals scored at the end of those fancy mechanics. Billy going for the backboard, and again, there's though his backboard defense has been really solid actually, but out of boost now, it's down to his other two teammates to try and defend. Though, again, no boost, I remind you. Or he did pick up a little actually, so they're able to rescue the situation. Nice pre-jump from Chippy. Again, lovely demo from Billy. This time on defense where the demos are coming out to play. And oh no! My. Mistouch from Tho at the center of everything at the moment, and Billy's perseverance pays off.
All right, it almost was a goal for Suhh, but a little bit of exchange. Though and Oli, that touch should have been it. That touch should have been a clear. They had all the time in the world. The shot was made for a long distance, and yet they still could not handle it. All the while, whatever Suhh is throwing towards Team Singularity, well, there was one goal, and that's about it. How about Chippy going at the end of this one? And again, we were watching Chippy always watch the second player coming in. Demos on the goal line. Yep, that's a third one. Easy peasy.
Repeat scoreline of game number 1, and we haven't even hit the halfway mark yet. Suhh's defense. Sus. Let's say that much, as Team Singularity, not even on the counter-attack. They're just playing their own game at this point and finding goals galore, and it's not looking good for the Dutch squad. Maybe revenge is on the cards for Team Singularity as they pick their pockets yet again. Massive save from Mike Boy off his own woodwork as Singularity start to really enforce a chokehold here on Suhh. The Dutchmen do not know what to do with this team in green.
And maybe there's another chance, but that chance for Suhh breaks down as quickly as it starts. Team Singularity still receives packages sent to their half with enough aplomb, and then promptly sends it back as yet another clear goes. Okay, maybe they just want to hit the ball as hard as possible, Relic. There's a chance that everyone just, by this point, would love to just boom it. It's a boom challenge by this point.
Oh!
What did I say? A boom challenge.
Uncle Bill went to the store and he's not bringing home milk, he's bringing home goals. What a cherry pick. No hope of defense. And I apologize if I sound like I'm dying. I'm dying of excitement personally. I sound worse than I actually am. And speaking of, that was a worse kickoff than it initially looked. Oli brings it back to a 2-goal game with still 2 minutes to play, Jam. There is a comeback potentially on.
Well, we've seen the previous kickoff also go quite widely the way of Suhh, and perhaps Team Singularity would like to adjust theirs just a little bit. 2-goal differential should probably still be enough to see them through. So far, Suhh have scored 1 goal in the first game, 2 goals in the second game, and firepower, well, is certainly there. We haven't seen as much of it as we would hope to see from what should be a very goal-heavy roster of Mike Boy, Tho, and Oli. But it's a little bit less than 2 minutes remaining. And Suhh are going on yet another attack, but look at how quickly Team Singularity are wise to every single clear that goes their way. They're ready to meet it, and every single time there's a player from Team Singularity, all of the danger, all of the threat of Suhh gets nullified.
All these 50s looking so good for Singularity as well. Like that, for example. Oh! Billy, moments away from a beautiful goal to put 5 past Suhh. Chippy keeps this locked. Away from the goal, but not exactly to the halfway line. Oli trying to go near post, and there's Billy yet again. Billy with a standout game. Surely the MVP looking forward if we are potentially on the cusp of a 3-0 sweep. Here's Bluey again. Just trying to retain possession, but he's lost it to Tho. But Billy again stepping in, a real menace right now. We always talked about Billy's potential in seasons and even years gone by, and he never really seemed to live up to it, but this looking a lot more like the Billy we were perhaps expecting to see in RLCS 21-22 as Oli puts it to the backboard, and guess who again?
Well, little Billy has all grown up, and he's now an uncle. The full-on Bill, maybe even William. We'll see exactly which kind. We'll see exactly which kind of Billy is going to appear later on. But for now, Team Singularity, with almost no time remaining in this game number 2, only needs to keep Suhh away for 10 seconds. is looking towards a second game win, a match point, and honestly, a position in which they're still looking like the winners. Suhh tried new things, but Team Singularity, on top of everything that we've seen before, also added really short rotations. And when it's clears, Team Singularity has it under control. When it's them losing the ball in the midfield or Suhh starting an attack from their own half, Team Singularity just cut in short, kill any momentum of the ball, and force Suhh to play slowly, all the while all the rest of Team Singularity's defense just comes on back, and voila! Yes, Suhh scored one more goal, but Team Singularity scored 4, and you don't need to be a math genius to figure out who's won this one.
Now you look at the bottom stats there, and I know that it's gone off of the stream, but fascinating reading where in game number 1, all 3 of those stats were in favor of Suhh. Very crucial change, I think, in game number 2 here, where in terms of field domination, yes, that was clearly by far and away the stat which Suhh is dominating in. But in terms of actual possession, we now see Singularity taking the advantage, edging it out. And you can tell that they are quite happy to keep the ball away from Suhh, because Suhh aren't able to score enough when they do have those opportunities. So if you limit their time even more, how many more goals than 2, realistically, do they have the potential to put away? I don't think that much. That's genius from Mike Boy, but again, a little bit too far away, not enough power to see no early 1-0 lead this time around for Suhh, and missing the midfield, only driving forward. I tell you what, Jam, if Singularity scored the opener in game number 3, not looking good if you are a fan of these 3 Dutchmen.
Oh, Bluey, can he do it? Gets a second, well, third touch, I suppose, as well. Tricks absolutely everyone, myself included, but I trusted. I believe. The moment he went up in the air, I knew he's going to go for it. And my goodness,
triple tap. Oh, my word. And now we find out whether I'm just talking nonsense or whether there is some truth to the matter. Team Singularity, color me impressed. Maybe you should stick together for a little while longer. Who knows? Mike Boy. Oh, and that's another loose ball. And Tho's got to rush back. He's got the boost. Yeah, Bluey bearing down on him as well, but nice defense. We've not been able to say that too much, actually. Another great infield pass, and it's a bit short as they went back for Billy instead of going for net. Singularity have Suhh at their mercy as things stand.
Yeah, the whole control of the game has pretty much flipped on its head. All the while, the Team Singularity still with the lead now. And still, oh, did I speak too soon?
Wow.
Yep, I think I spoke too soon. Singularity, I'm so very sorry. Fans of Suhh, you better be pretty happy about this one.
Oh.
This is a tying goal, and just a goal, any sort of goal that their team needs is very much a needed one.
That's the first major mistake that anyone on Singularity has really put up. Chippy with a massive backboard. Not even a backboard missed so much. He was looking to take possession of the ball and just flat out just didn't get his depth perception correct on that one. Then again, it is tricky sometimes to read those situations, but we're talking about those fine margins. It's RLCS, baby. You've got to be able to do it, otherwise you are going to get punished, as we've just seen. Chippy looking for the redemption arc here. Mike Boy intercepts the interconnecting plays as Oli going towards net. Does he have a flip reset? Oh, he tries to steamroll his way through, and Tho puts it high. Back in by Mike Boy. That should have been 2-1.
Suhh had the goal at their mercy. 3 players rushing on in, but every single touch...
Oh!
Forget about those touches. Tho is on fire. Yet another one to the tally of Suhh, and I thought he didn't have the angle. I thought he wouldn't have the pace to put it around Team Singularity's players. But even with a fadeaway, he still manages to do it. Alrighty then, Relic. Let's go.
It's the first time that Suhh have scored 2 goals and they lead. It's the first time they've come from behind and led. Are the tides turning? Only time will tell, as we've still got the lion's share of 3 minutes left. Mike Boy. That's going to find his way to the far corner where Bluey lies in wait. Navigates his way past 1, and Billy stops to 2nd. Bumped out the way, demoed out the way by Tho, not having any of it. Oli sees an open net and finds it.
You could see this. That was a tough for Billy to do anything with that ball, so his best hope was just finds a flick and just gets on. But the demo's coming now for Suhh, and the moment that frees up the field, the moment the ball suddenly changes possession to the side of Suhh, it opens up so many opportunities for them. The follower play from Team Singularity couldn't do much. So let's see if Billy, straight off the kickoff, gets one flip reset. Doesn't drop on the ball as Mike Boy's clearing it, but more shots
nice
are coming in, and Oli is in a very important spot to block out on through. Team Singularity still up in the air and still with possession. Have players in the back too. Has been a resurgence of individual plays and tactical individual plays that were netting them the goals. And we're going to see more of that. Team Singularity either need to upgrade their goal-scoring opportunities, which already had a lot, but at this point they are obviously losing. Or need to find some way to stop Suhhh of actually making those plays. The field has been just a little bit more open than usual, and Suhhh on every single opportunity have utilized that to its fullest.
Well, I think that that's also down to Suhhh making those opportunities for themselves. They know that they've got to play differently, otherwise they're going to go home with a 3-0 sweep. I mean, not home necessarily. They do still have the lower bracket to navigate should they lose their life here. But they're not. They're looking great. They're looking better. And Team Singularity, I do not blame them for their haphazardness with the ball either. They know that if they give Suhhh even an inch, they'll more than likely take the mile, because we know the quality within this roster, and it has been a surprise to see them so dormant in this series up until this game, of course. A reminder that we still have 70 seconds still to play, so plenty still for Singularity to try and rescue back. Bluey, though, completely misreads where that ball was going, requires Chippy to step in. And Mike Boy just happy to keep possession all to himself, driving to the far corner. Time is a wasting jam, and Singularity don't want to see it evaporate.
And unfortunately for them, it's exactly what is happening. And a lot of unforced errors, misses that were not there previously are creeping in for Singularity, and they're losing the possession. They're losing their own time, and it's clearly not helping them in this game. That's how some of these goals have gotten through as well. And they were just not able to settle in the same playstyle that they've showcased in game number 1 and number 2. Partly that's down to Suhhh readjusting and making sure that they take the lead early, they continue with the lead early, and Singularity playing from behind. A bit of an unfortunate situation. Seems like that's where mistakes are coming in. Thankfully, there's going to be another 5 minutes on the clock after this one, and it's up for Team Singularity to fix their mistakes, to really narrow down, not narrow down, but reduce the amount of possibilities that Team Singularity have been getting, the Suhhh have been getting on the field, and see what they can do in game number 4, because game number 3 is squarely in the favor of Suhhh.
The spike and Suhhh are on the board, 2-1 in the series. Much more convincing performance, and would you look at that field domination stat, which I was pointing out over the last couple of games, swings in favor of Team Singularity, and all of a sudden it is Singularity who find themselves on the back foot. I think that Suhhh has realized that maybe allowing Team Singularity time to think on the ball is perhaps their own worst nightmare, because Team Singularity have been playing on counterattacks off instinct. And by doing so, they've been really clinical with their opportunities and with their choices in demos. We already covered this before, Jam. And now that the table's been flipped, now that Suhhh are just saying, okay, you have the ball then, I feel as if they're getting inside their own heads a little bit. And if Suhhh can continue with this sort of plan, with this sort of strategy, then who knows, the rest of the series is up for grabs. But I wouldn't be surprised if Singularity make adjustments going into this one, because I'm sure they would have recognized just how big an opportunity they'd let slip there.
They absolutely have to, and geez, the amount of shots, 13 for Suhhh in that match, the best they have done so far, and it obviously showcases in the result that they got 3 goals, but they were grand goals. They were tremendous ones, and look at that. Suhhh, off the kickoff, know what they're doing, straight on up. There is a plan, and there is a weakness that they're able to utilize previously, and it would have been a goal without Tho getting that flip reset and setting it off the backboard to pass to his teammate.
And actually, by going off the post, rather than going straight for the shot on net, it worked out beautifully, because Chippy had the near post shot read. It's just that the shot came up a bit short and ended up as a perfect pass. Suhhh with an early advantage then, and really pressing hard to find a second. There's Tho back into the center box. And Chippy away, supported by Blue, but here comes Oli again. No boost and prioritizing the challenge over said fuel resource. A demo onto Chippy again, and lovely bump! That opens up the net. Oh my words! Though, that's brutal.
I was thinking that demos are the virtue of Team Singularity, but no, they've learned. So have learned, and they are just dismantling Team Singularity at their own play, at their own side of the field, all the while just running donuts around their opposition. Another kickoff, another Oli attempt. This time he doesn't get anything, but he has Though behind him. Mike Boy is sitting down. He's looking for any and all clears. Can they at least collect the boost on the other side of the field? Yes, they can. Double commits from Team Singularity. This looks like a bit of a panic here and there. A little bit of, okay, I now need to control the game kind of mentality that won't do Team Singularity well. Somebody needs to really call it off to make sure that they still return back to their own ways.
Yeah, sadly, I return to my previous reference. This is also looking like Scrub Killer Singularity in that, yes, their play style can work sometimes, but when you're talking about over the course of a best of 5, does it really work the entire distance? Not often. Scrub Killer becomes disillusioned. The team starts to mold away. And Suhhh, that orange net has not been threatened in a good long while. Not to the levels that we saw earlier. Mike Boy, lovely redirect. Nice read, actually, from Chippy to get it into the midfield once again as those forced back. 100 boost, what can he do from here? Up comes Bluey, lovely fake. Up comes Billy, doubles back, takes the ball off him, gets the demo for his troubles. Up in the air, loose, double commit from the Singularity defense, but it's strong enough.
We're going to forgive them, Doze and Billy. With the help of Bluey, that was a good one to play that could have misled the defense as to where the ball was heading eventually, but in the end, they managed to shoot it at the same target, and so the defender didn't even have to move. More opportunities, perhaps a little bit of stylish and technical play. It's just not working, and if previously Team Singularity could catch Suhhh unawares, off guard, and on counterattacks with a little bit of demo thrown into the mix, right now the opportunities just don't present themselves. There's no demos to speak of. I almost feel like the two teams have almost switched the sides of the field. It's now Suhhh who always have a response, but not for this. Not for this round.
Now, in the past minute or so, we'd seen a bit more of a fork system coming out from Suhhh, where they were leaving an anchor back just as insurance, but that anchor definitely put pain to their plans, as it's just an unfortunate 50 for Oli there, caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the Ricochet finds itself back into a dangerous position. That's another double commit, and surely that's going to be a goal. Yeah, it is. Lovely pass from Oli, so unselfish, seeing that he could not only commit the defense again, but then Mike Boy was in a prime position to put that away. And that was a scary moment for Suhhh, where they gave up a goal, which they didn't really need to, but to put a third immediately on the board, you can tell that they're eager to lock this one down.
Kickoffs have been the bread and butter for Suhhh in this matchup, and Team Singularity really need to utilize, I'm already thinking about the next game almost, that they need to utilize this little break in between the games to figure out how to counteract those kickoffs. Otherwise, every single time Suhhh go for a kickoff, I would say they win it. They don't necessarily always get a goal out of it, not always even get a shot out of it, but every single time off the kickoff, I would say Suhhh are threatening Team Singularity with at least something. And here's, if only that would have connected. They seem to have yet another opportunity in front of that, most importantly, a passing opportunity. Suhhh are dragging the Team Singularity defense apart, and it's clearly working.
Billy trying to fashion something. All he can really do is pop it, and there's Chippy back into the center. Billy finds the shot on target. But Though again in net, Chippy again. All three Singularity players swarming around this orange net, but they found no joy to get it back to a 1-goal game. That's a bit heavy to Billy. Gonna have to work with it from the other side of the wall here. Oli, Though with a demo on Chippy as well, just relieving that offensive pressure. 60 seconds left. It's on your screen, folks. Another big demo. Singularity working the defense here, but as much as they jam the crowbar in, those gates aren't opening as of yet.
It looked promising at the very least. Team Singularity.
Oh,
Ooh,
no!
That does not look promising at all.
Oh,
Though robbery in broad daylight. How did he even let go of that ball? They had an idea, Billy and Bluey, and then Chippy was all watching that and not even expecting that he needs to play for that one. Team Singularity brings out the good ideas. It's just that when the execution fails, you get this 4-1 for Suhhh.
Oh, I think Chippy knew he had to
Another
pick up.
kickoff.
I think he knew he had to pick up the possession jam. I just think he flat. What?
Yes, I think what capital W, capital H, capital A, and capital T, and a big question mark. 3
Oh,
question marks.
Bluey! Bluey with a bump on the far post.
That snuck away from us. That was somewhere on the side, not even like barely in the background, but you blink and you miss it. Will it be another relic? As you see, yet another kickoff. It wasn't for bump by Chippy on Mike Boy. This would have been yet another possession for Suhhh. It continues to be a possession for Suhhh. With all that time, I would say even wasted 10 seconds of the ball just roaming in Team Singularity's side with nobody really taking the control. But that's what Suhhh really wants. Ball just lingering with nobody taking the piece of it.
Oh, that's another lovely pass. Singularity still have something to say.
A demo online.
Oh, going for the angelic Doomsday, and I think they're going to be caught out here from the Hail Mary. Not that they have enough time to score 2 now anyway. Team Singularity is still in this, don't get me wrong. We saw in that last minute that they still have tools in their arsenal to be able to make something of this. But once again, the opportunity to put Suhhh away has been denied. Suhhh came out the blocks flying, and for them to put up 4 goals, great confidence going into that final game.
And Suhhh on the brink of reverse sweep. Only a best of 5 reverse sweep, but counts just as much. The ability to stop what Team Singularity has been doing. And it seemed like that the playstyle of Singularity was unbeatable. It was annoying to deal with. Constant bumps, demos, constantly just not even allowing Suhhh to play their own game. But now, across 2 games already, the tables have been thoroughly turned, maybe even flipped on the side of Suhhh, and you could see, man, the difference is drastic. Again, as said, if Team Singularity does not take those kickoffs under control, or really they started getting them under control in as much as they always go for an obstruction play. They never really win those kickoffs still, but they go for an obstruction play because they know that they need to stop Suhhh from getting on any results. And finally, a kickoff that, nope, still goes the other way.
I've almost finished my juice, Jam. I know it sounds like I'm dying, but these players are making me work. And that's lovely. I'm very happy of it because it's been a fantastic best of 5 gone the distance now as we put our final 5 minutes, maybe plus that overtime on the board. Chippy, I think, kind of scuffs that just on purpose to deny the potential 50 going wrong. And that's clinical. That's what we've been saying. That's been the difference maker for both of these sides. And so, again, opens up the scoring for Suhhh.
Oh, Mike Boy was going for the ball, gets the player in the end, and that clears up the space in front of the net just a little bit. But that angle, my God, that angle. Couple, of course, with a bounce of the defending player of Singularity. And Mike Boy, 1 versus 1, cannot beat Billy. But there's immediately a follow-up, and you can see that Suhhh are always faster to the ball. Now have to return. We saw that just for a moment they didn't have that much boost to work with. But Team Singularity, in just one moment, were caught quite unawares and without a boost themselves. So next time this happens, Suhhh might as well get yet another goal in their bucket.
Lovely transition from Suhhh again. So quick from one side of the field to the other. And Billy has to step in there to deny a shot as well. We talk about Singularity working the Suhhh defense at the end of game number 4. Suhhh have been working the Singularity defense constantly. Threats like that have to be looked towards as serious. They have to commit to them. And I think it was perhaps on that last play in particular a bit just of almost just pure stunned rabbit in headlights moments when nobody moved, hoping rather than hedging their bets as to whether that was going to go wide or not. Here goes Chippy. Oh, nice bump. And again, lovely defense, a lovely transition. I mean, that ball's found its way to the green backboard in a space of seconds. Demo on Billy. So, can he unlock something here? It falls to Mike Boy, picks it up. Billy still looking for boost. Demo! And that is 2-0 Suhhh.
That's what Team Singularity have been trying to do in opening of this series, but right now it's Suhhh who's doing it. Mike Boy completely bamboozles Billy. That's one player taking out with Mike Boy, not even doing anything fancy. He just goes low. And then that demo, that demo, it opens up a field of possibilities for Suhhh. Well, the possibility at the end need that they had was scoring a goal, and that they did.
Not looking good. Singularity from 2-0 up. The threat of the reverse sweep, not just real. You can smell it from here. Though, 3!
They get going. They don't stop going with a 3-0. I have doubts that Team Singularity can claw out of this one. Their game plan at this point undone. Nothing that we've seen from Team Singularity's for Game 1 and Game 2 performance is still remnant in the series, Relic. And their team plays, as much as they're trying to go for team plays, is far and few between. And I feel like there's more double commits. Though still keeps control of the ball. So was going to continue playing with the ball. After all of that, he went round the clock, got the boost, and still had enough time, space, and absolutely everything to return back to the attack himself. All while Mike Boy does this.
You can tell when a player is confident. And all three Dutchmen are glistening with it. Lovely double tap from Mike Boy. And Team Singularity might be sent back to the nebula in which we found them. Complete collapse in game number 5. Complete collapse across the series. And it goes to show, really, that a series of Rocket League is not done until that final minute of your winning game has elapsed. Team Singularity have looked just maybe, barring 1 minute of game number 4, competitive in this second half. They do get one here, just a little bit of lackadaisicalness really from Oli and Tho getting crossed up from each other. Lovely infield pass to Bluey, who gets 1 on the board, but with 2:06 left on the clock, surely not 3.
Well, I'm pretty sure Team Singularity fans right now are praying, making sacrifices, crossing whatever appendages they have, just to make sure that this one goal leads their team to greatness. Being 1 game away from taking the whole series already for such a long time, I'm pretty sure Singularity, both fans and players, are hungry for that one. The problem is, though, Relic, Team Singularity, they are now slower than whatever Suhhh are doing. Suhhh are always first to the challenges, and if Mike Boy can sneak that one through, he does not. Always first to the challenges are Suhhh. Suhhh are reading Team Singularity's play incredibly well, and whenever Team Singularity, or at least for the most part, when they're going on the attack, a lot of it is unplanned and a little bit chaotic, for lack of a better term. Team Singularity's just they're lacking that team play effect that we'll love to see from them, that we've seen from them, but haven't seen in a while. They've lost it somewhere.
Yeah, it's just a real stark contrast. Again, passing the ball in front of net, you shouldn't have that much time. Suhhh do, and they use it to great effect. Once again, it's Mike Boy benefiting. Another goal to his name, 5-1. Well, if there was any hope of a Singularity comeback, I think that is far in the past, with 63 seconds left at the time of kickoff. Chippy trying to salvage some sort of, I don't know, contentment from the series. Some sort of, yes, we still can do this from the series. But it's not really forthcoming. As Oli drops down, gets the save. Chippy to the backboard. Again, Mike Boy out and about. Suhhh really don't feel the need to throw bodies forward at this point. They've got plenty of goal margin. Though if they do find 6, they'll quite happily have it. Almost put it into his own net by Bluey. And Suhhh looking to set up a date with new look Team Vitality. Should be interesting, since I really didn't rate them in that last series. And I think Suhhh, especially with the nature of how they come back from this one, Jam, almost got a 6 there, actually. I would argue potentially even looking the favourites going forward.
Ooh, that's a bold claim. It will be really interesting to see what happens. And that series is going to be next on your screens after that. Spooks and Craftsman are going to be providing the commentary for that one. But looking at this, Team Singularity get one for the road, but that road leads them to the lower bracket, with Rumble Bumblers are going to be their opposition. And when we get to that series, that's going to be our 4th on of the day. It's going to be for elimination. Either Team Singularity or Rumble Bumblers are going to be going home from this group stage. First day and already out. You don't want to be that team, so Team Singularity better prepare for that. But what a different look. A game of 2 halves, they say, Relic. Yeah. And this series was a series, whatever you might want to call it, of 2 halves. Team Singularity starting off strong. They had a game plan, and they stuck to it. And while it was a bit... It was physical. It had a lot of bright ideas. It was annoying to play against. And Suhhh, A, couldn't play versus that. B, couldn't break down the wonderful defense of Team Singularity. But roughly around midpoint, the kickoff started coming in for Suhhh. They basically just switched strategies altogether, and all of a sudden, with Team Singularity not being sieged as much as just outplayed, outpaced for many of these shots and plays, they couldn't counteract with anything. Their old game plan was no longer relevant. It couldn't be effective in the new era of Suhhh in the series, and this is the result. When Suhhh changed, Team Singularity couldn't.
I mean, that's basically it. Suhhh adapted and Singularity didn't. And I think that sadly is definitely telling of what we've seen from Bluey's teams and why perhaps he's fallen out of relevance these past few seasons. Whether it was PSG, whether it was Savage, they both had a certain play style with Bluey as part of that roster. And when that sort of fell apart, there wasn't really any sort of discernible way back for either of those squads. And so, yes, the Singularity talent will overcome different teams that are perhaps worse off on paper, and it's why I'm not too disheartened by what I've seen from Singularity. They still picked up 2 games against, so that's definitely better than their last encounter with this team. And I also look at them going into the lower bracket, and I think surely they should be winning that series. You know, based on what we've seen, yes, it was a bit of a capitulation, but again, you'd expect those 3 to be able to beat a team of players who don't have that RLCS experience, right? But, you know, looking at it in greater context, it's easy to see why this Singularity squad hasn't had as much of a footprint on RLCS as it has, and rather conversely, why these 3 Dutchmen perhaps still have something to say on that matter.
We're going to see exactly what they have to say. Team Vitality is going to be their opposition. Right after the break, the Dacia Spring Electric is going to continue. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Dacia Spring Electric Tournament here on the Rocket RB. Thank you very much to Jam and Relic for that lovely commentary. We're back, myself, him, Spooks. We are ready for our upper final, rather, here in Pool A. Let's have a look at the bracket so far, just in case you've missed anything so far today. Early on, we had Vitality beating out Rumble Bumblers 3-1, and we just had that awesome reverse sweep of Suhhh against Singularity. So now it's Vitality and Suhhh to face off for a place in Saturday's playoffs in the upper bracket, no less. Remember, whoever gets through as the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed from the pools today and tomorrow will go into the upper bracket of the playoff system come Saturday. So Spooks, you're watching that with us. Talk about that reverse sweep from Suhhh, because Singularity looked to have it under control, but Suhhh just made a rallying comeback.
Well, they just started to amp up themselves as the games progressed, so much in case that Suhhh went game 1, 1 goal. Game 2, 2 goals. Game 3, 3 goals. Game 4, 4 goals. And can you guess how many goals they got in game 5?
Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Was it 5?
It was 5.
It was 5. So a lot of similarities for Suhhh. Let's see if they can match that this time around. I'll imagine they want to score a few more than just 1 goals in the first game as we start things off. And obviously we saw Vitality earlier on, Spooks, and they took some time to find their footings against Rumble Bumblers. But once they got everything together, they seemed pretty a well-oiled machine, you would say. I was going to say unstoppable, but Vitality right now still looking to find that killing blow, I would say.
They definitely are, but another team that's slowly starting to find their footing is Suhhh. So both these teams should be all ready to go, firing away. But so far, the first minute has been passing by quietly, and no real shots or anything dangerous has been attempted just yet. It's Kata bringing the ball back forward once again in front of the net. There's Redosin, quick shot. Not on target, just a bit wide. And meaning that Mike can bring it all the way towards the other end. It's only with a quick shot onto the backboard. Is there a follow-up? Yes, there is, but it's from Redosin.
If you cast your mind back to July of last year, the finals of the European region of the World Open was France versus the Netherlands, and we kind of mentioned this earlier on as well, Spooks. The team of Suhhh, Mike Boy, Ole, and Thul, were representing Team Netherlands, and Vitality France represented by the Vitality roster of the time of Alpha, K-Dot, and Fairy Peak at the time, now bringing in Redosin. So a little bit of a grudge match here. France/Vitality did walk away with a victory that time around, but we were taken very close to the limit. That Netherlands team, which is this team of Suhhh, are a force to be reckoned with. Let's see what they've got against Vitality. Everything's a little bit neutral right now. Suhhh with the majority of the offense so far.
It has been quite equal, and I mean, you say it's a bit of a revenge match. Those were different times. That's what back when Vitality was still at the top as Redosin, trying to be that change that will bring Vitality back to that top. But so far, it's yet to be seen. As though, good pass forward, Alpha blocks it, intercepts it, but the quick shot after that with the bump attempt on Kata. It's just too bad that there's still a defender behind it.
Yeah, and you talk about how it was different times for Vitality. They just came off of winning RLCSX in Europe, winning the championship there. What a change it's been for Vitality in the last 6, 7, 8 months of competition. How far they have fallen, and hopefully for them to rise back up over the next couple of weeks, few months, but they might be conceding this one early on. Alpha does end up getting this away, and now tries to solo carry it all the way down that left-hand side. Will be taken away by Ole, and now so trying to mount a little bit of a defensive push in the midfield and turn that into a little bit of offense as Ole goes over the bar.
As we are stuck in the green half this time around, Suhhh. It is Mike Boy trying his best to get the ball away with the help, but that help is just not enough so far. And it's really, I mean, it's home how equal it has been so far. No one really getting the best of the opportunities.
who's going to make that first strike, that first blow. As Vitality scrambling back to their own side. Mike Boy now onto the backboard, and again, just the defensive Vitality. Both defenses really wise to the offensive shots that are being put up by their opponents. And they're playing the counter game really well, both these defenses, especially Vitality, as they have been the ones to absorb most of the pressure. Can Mike Boy get to this one? No! A defensive error for Suhhh allows Alpha 54 the first blow.
And that is the opening goal that you were looking for if you're Vitality. But I have an interesting stat. We've, of course, only played 2 series just yet, Crafters. But both the teams that took game 1 eventually lost the series. Take that as you may.
Well, well, well. Let's see. We'll see if that holds true. We'll see Vitality with the 3-game winning streak coming out of their first series of the day. Let's see if they can hold it against Suhhh here, but I imagine a little bit of retaliation in the last 30 seconds from the Dutchman will maybe put a stop to the Frenchman's hold on this game right now. Up for Oli, and away by Alpha. Mike Boy with the follow-up shot, just tries to squeeze it through the 2 defenders, but though with the follow-up there, absolutely empties the net of Vitality.
Simple pressure. It just got to Vitality. Couldn't hold on long enough to get that ball away. It was only 20 seconds left. You would have thought if they got that save right there, they would have taken game number 1. But Suhhh trying to bounce back right away as this ball does go in favor of Vitality. Was almost going to say, but apparently it is going the other way. It seems that Suhhh is doing well in the kickoffs, but 10 seconds left to go. This ball stuck in no man's land. No one really has control until Suhhh with the passing play, but the passing play doesn't work out for them, and the seconds are counting down. Final
Chance
shot,
here. Oh,
getting saved by Toe and not going in.
Could it be our first overtime of the day, or will K-Dot put a stop to that? Ole now just needs to hit this down. Might actually take this all the way by himself, coast to coast, corner to corner, but can't keep it up right at the end. And we do approach our first extra period of the day.
Overtime will get underway. Quick shot, quick early challenge there. Coming out from Toe, that's what you like to see if you are a fan of this Dutch lineup. And a quick shot comes out once again. K-Dub this time around, blocking it off. It's Alpha 54 trying to get it into the middle, but no flip reset. And that is a bit of a surprise, because normally he is known as the person who can get a flip reset out of nowhere.
Mike Boy now. Oh, sets it down for Oli. That's nice offensive play by Suhhh. But again, just the pressure starting to mount for Vitality. Can they keep their heads clean on their shoulders this time around as Alpha 54 dribbles it all the way down by himself, but he runs out a boost towards the end. Mike Boy with great positioning to not be completely caught off guard, but though over the top, catching off guard. It's not Suhhh, but it is Vitality.
They get that win from Suhhh, and that is unexpected a bit, I would say. I don't know how you think about this, Crafters, but to me, this was not the way I thought things were going. Vitality looked quite strong, especially on the individual level. I thought Radosin was looking quite good, but apparently Suhhh doesn't care how good you look. Eventually, they will take this victory for themselves.
That they will, and only only a few seconds into the overtime as well. I mean, the first goal of this game didn't come within until the last minute of regulation, and then we have that final goal 48 seconds into overtime. So very quick turnaround for Suhhh, and especially just getting those 2 goals straight away. I mean, you felt like they were beaten up by Vitality a little bit. Vitality might have had a little bit of more of a stronghold on the game up until that point, but a couple of just defensive errors from Vitality just cost them that game in the end. And I mean, we talked earlier about consistency from Radosin and obviously from Vitality up until this point. Maybe some inconsistencies creeping in here as well, Spooks.
Maybe it just is gonna take a bit more time than they probably would have liked to get used to Radosin fully. And of course, you're playing against a really strong team in Suhhh, and so is proving you why this team is one to watch for the RLCS season.
Oh, a mistake by Radosin as well. The new boy can't get rid of his old habits. And I've seen that from K-Dop this series, or not this series, this season as well. where he's just hitting it off the backboard and not aware of his opponents coming through right at that moment. So a big mistake there from Radosin. Opens the door early for Suhhh to get the upper hand here. Remember, whoever wins this one goes through to the upper side of the bracket on Saturday. Whoever loses has to fight it out for second place against whoever gets through from Rumble Bumblers and Singularity, which will be coming up for you right after this series. That's not a spot that Vitality want to be in, neither does Suhhh. Here comes Radosin with no boost in the tank. And Vitality's offense and attacking threat just doesn't look all that threatening, really, right now, Spooks. It's very, very soft, and Suhhh are having an easy time defending it.
It is looking quite good from Suhhh. Well, I have seen a couple of overcommitments coming out from Team Vitality. That's not what you like to see. You don't want to see them overcommit towards these balls, as this ball from Toe going back into the middle. K-Dub is quite quick, but no dangerous shot just yet. Oli trying his best to bait out the defenders, and the pass almost working out. It's just that the post denies them this time around, as K-Dub trying to bring the ball all the way back towards the green side once again. Pass up to Oli. Can he finish it off low? No. Radosin blocking him off, but really Suhhh starting to amp up the speed a bit here.
That they are, and it seems like right now Vitality can't keep up for the moment as Tho goes quickly onto the backboard, Oli into the corner. Mike Boy, and now Tho and Alpha locked in a Rule 2, and it is Rule 2, I will not hear otherwise, in the corner of Vitality. Who's going to give it up the goat first? Here comes Oli with a sensational air dribble of his own, and the Rule 2 is held in the corner, and Mike Boy will benefit from it.
And as Rule 1 gets broken due to explosions from Mike Boy's goal, this is what you like to see from Suhhh. Early on, right away, get into their faces from Vitality, not allowing them to really break free from their own half. As Tho does get demoed, and Demos exchanges it with Radosin. It's Alpha 54 from the ceiling. Dropping it down, taking it a bit slower. And K-Dub there with the 50 once again. This ball will be stuck in the green half for now. So has to be careful to try and break away from their own half, though, with a good clear. Can this be a pass all the way to Mike Boy, but the shot not found?
Sorry, Spooks, we have to have this conversation. You
No.
just called it Rule 1. It's Rule 2. Come on, let's just get that clear, okay? It's Rule 2 in the corner. All right?
I've had this discussion with
The
Daddy
rule
way
was
too many
written.
times. Nah.
The first rule that was written was keep the ball up at 0 seconds. Then it's
Okay.
lock your cars together, all right?
I don't care.
Okay.
That sounds like a
we all
boomer
agree.
thing to say.
We
I don't
all
care.
agree. We all agree.
No,
It's Rule
no,
2. It's Rule
no.
2. Radisson now. Beaten away. As K-Dub and the rest of Vitality just can't seem to mount a steady attack on the Suhhh net, although Alpha 54 may make a meal of this one. Onto the backboard, K-Dub with the last chance, and Tho just takes that away from him. All of Vitality down the green half. Is this in? No, it's off the crossbar. Maybe a follow-up from Mike Boy might get there. No, Tho is going to have to duck this one down. And Vitality really, really lucky to not have a third on the board for Suhhh.
They walk away there. We're very, very lucky, like you said there. It should have been trio. Simple as that. But Radosin trying to make it a 2-1. This ball does get a bit into no man's land once again. And I've noticed that quite a lot between these two teams, where we for a moment see really great offense from one of these two teams, and then for like a minute or 30 seconds, it just goes into no man's land. No one really has the control, as the shot from Mike Boy getting blocked off by Radosin.
Oli now. I think Suh's goal right now is just to keep the pressure on and maybe get a third, and they will. Oli over the top of the entirety of Vitality. And that might just do it here in game number 2. Look at that slowdown from Oli.
no.
That is just unbeatable. And K-Dub, yes, it would be credited with the own goal, but man alive, Oli to just stop on a dime in the air. That is so good technique from the man from the Netherlands.
That is insane. Sadly enough for K-Dub, that the ball does bounce away from his own roof into his own net. Not what you like to see, but the trio lead, 1 minute left. It's going to be hard for Team Vitality to get back into this one, as Radosin with the control, patience, easy, taking it easy. But that easiness is not what you need right now. You need some speed. You need to get in front of that ball. You need to get quicker, because right now Suhhh is just deciding the pace. Radosin, one way or another, gets to the